What is up, people? Hello and welcome back to the Cup Chasers. Welcome back to another episode. It's going to be a good one. The Arsenal have finally conceded two goals, and Man City have absolutely demolished Liverpool to reinstate normal settings in the Premier League over the last 3 years. And it's Arsenal versus Man City in this title race once again. But you know what time it is. Go ahead and hit the likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Of course, thanks for being here. Hype it up. And we want your thoughts in the comments section below. How you doing, Lewis? Naz, tell me what's up, man.
It's a wonderful whatever day. It's Wednesday, right? I think
it is Wednesday. Whatever day you're watching this, it's also wonderful.
Yes, it's a wonderful whatever day this is. And it's always good to talk football, man. I think even though it's the international break is coming up on us, it's some stuff to still talk about, that's there. And how you doing, man? Everything good?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Yeah, in earlier days in my life, in Arteta's reign, a draw away to Sunderland would have been disastrous, head loss. But that one wasn't so bad. Sunderland deserved a point, so we'll take our hats off to him, and of course we'll get into it. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good. Still top of the league. Can't complain. But I think we should get into the absolute and utter demolition at the Empty Head Stadium in front of 6 or 7 fans. Jeremy Doku finally coming through.
You know what's funny about that is, first, and I'm being 1,000% honest about this. I mean, I've been on this kick of, the Doku Foden, attacking line was going to feed families, and then it did. Like, it absolutely fed families. But what was more interesting was, I thought Doku was dynamic, but this guy said, I got a vendetta against them, and he was cooking these guys. I mean, it was crazy because they was putting 2-3 guys on him, and he did not care. And what I think was most amazing is, before we even talk about Doku, just sort of the post-mortem, there's been so many comments about like the officiating and the disallowed goal. And it's funny because people are like, that changed the tide. I remember being there because where I watched the game, Man City came and like recorded our watch party. So it was kind of cool. I did an interview and all that stuff.
Nice.
And like this official City people came.
Yeah.
I saw the Liverpool goal and I felt nothing. Because if anybody was watching that game, we was slapping them. And that goal didn't mean anything. I predicted, I didn't say it, but I predicted 3-1. And we was trying to make it 3-1 for the longest in that game. And they were not level. It wasn't like Doku was going to turn off what he was doing because they got a goal. Like we were absolutely fine. And the fact that, Nico Gonzalez has literally turned into a solid 6, and that Cherky didn't even have a good game. And, he was like pedestrian.
He didn't have
Phil had a good game. Holland missing the penalty. That didn't bother me in the slightest either. Like they went in there with an air that we're going to win this game. And that's what they did. And like Salah looked old. He literally looked old for the first time. Now, people's like, Nico O'Reilly got the best of him because, it took forever. I'm like, yes, but Mo Salah still got moments. It's not like he's not Mo Salah, and.
Well, you saw the very first 4 minutes into the game. Like I've just rewatched the highlights to try and kind of refresh my memory. 3 minutes into the game, the first chance of the game actually fell to Salah, but right. O'Reilly bodies him off the ball, yeah. And it's nothing against Mo. It just is what it is. Dude's like 6'5" and got 10 years on him, or 15, you got 11, 12 years on him or something. Yeah. I mean, people slow down.
Yeah, and so you look at it, and the thing about it is I think what essentially got a lot of the Liverpool fans, in my opinion, is the fact that they had such a good game against Real Madrid, even though I mean they did, but they didn't. Like they didn't like smack Madrid when they beat them. Like it wasn't like a domination.
It was comfortable though.
They were better than them, but I
Madrid
mean,
were poor.
but right. So I'm like, it wasn't like you were like, hey man, they don't deserve to beat. You won 1-0. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't like destroy them, and Courtois was like everywhere. So I'm like, yo, there was still flashes of Madrid here and there. I mean, Vinny didn't do anything, but so they brought that in for then Doku to be like, I don't care who's in front of me.
What's up, man?
Hello, whoever that is. Oh yeah, I forgot. Hold on, I gotta share it into my story because I always share the little thing in the story. But so I'm happy with the result. I mean, I'm cautious, right? Because we don't know. Like we don't first, and I say it to you all the time in the chat. It's a long season, man. It's November. It's literally November, man. You got another transfer window coming. You got FA Cup coming. You got Champions League still coming. And then you got the festive period with the pile of games.
The most wonderful time of the year, man.
There's way too much football going on for me to be like, And again, City's young, so it's sort of it's like, and respectfully, it's like an organized Chelsea. And it's not a shot. It's just
I don't know that you're that young.
Well, I mean, look at the team, man. Like, I mean, Cherky.
How old is O'Reilly?
O'Reilly is 20.
Okay.
And maybe 20. Rico is 20. Foden is 25. Holland is 25. Nico Gonzalez is 23.
Foden is considered like an old head at this point, though.
Compared to everybody else, like the oldest guy, like Gigi is 25.
What about Gvardiol? You're all like right there, aren't you?
Gvardiol is 23.
23, 24,
like
25.
the team is not old, man. Like they're super young. Like Diaz was probably the oldest dude in the team, man. Because they're like, oh, Doku is 23 years old, man.
Yeah.
Like the team is Bernardo was the oldest one because I think Bernardo's like 31 or something like that.
But also it's worth mentioning that Doku and Foden and some of the guys that are there have like this is Doku's third season. Like so they've been able to grow into what Pep wants them to do. Even though it's still young.
Right. But I think, and that's the thing. So they're young in age. Like, I mean, okay, in football, and they might not be like, the oldest thing in the world. But I mean, I just look at it and say, City's a young team and they're figuring it out. And I'm not going to say, yeah, we got this locked up because that's crazy. Because even when we were world beaters, I was the most cautious fan on the planet. I'm sure it annoyed the whole world that I was never like beating my chest. But I mean, after we won, I was there. But like before, I just can't be there. And so I'm excited that City is in the race and that, we got, an opportunity to be good. I think Arsenal is a good team. I've never once been the hater on that. And I thought Liverpool was decent, but we did catch them at a spell. And they thought they were coming back off that spell, and we just chin-checked them to let them know that the spell wasn't over yet. Yeah. And so the fact that people are complaining about a disallowed goal and how that changed, I'm like, stop it, man. Because, again, now you're hearing all of a sudden, notice we hadn't talked about 115 charges. All of a sudden, that's starting to come back up. So when City is good, now we can talk about all the stuff. Yeah. But when they're not any good, then it's it's laugh at them. It's like
Well, objectively, do you think the goal should have been disallowed? Whether or not it affects the game, all that aside, specifically, what do you think?
Here's why it was weird to me because I watched it and I saw it, and so he was next to the keeper, and him and Doku were marked, and then he released Doku and stood there, and Donnarumma looked at him, and then the shot went over there, and then he ducked out of the way. And at first, I was like, "Well, I guess that's a goal." Like I didn't really complain about it because if it was a goal, it was a goal. I wasn't gonna cry about it. But then what the call was the official on the field called it offsides. So at that point, I mean, hey man, you got to be mad at him, right? But then I saw the rule, and the actual rule says that you basically have to like be able to not do anything and not affect the play. And I was like, oh well, if that is indeed the case, then it was interference, because that even that second inning, you know, this is as a player, that anything you see in your periphery is enough to throw you off, especially as a keeper. So if I'm thinking a dude is coming through because Doku was standing next to him, then in my brain, that does affect me, because I'm looking at you where the shot is and you shouldn't be there. Now, does he get there? I don't think so. I'm being honest about that. I don't think he gets to the ball.
I don't think he does. I've rewatched it, and I've rewatched it from the goal cam, the one that's like in the goal behind it, behind Donnarumma. And while I do 100% agree that Robertson's movement would completely like make me look at him if he did that, I do agree with that. But also, Donnarumma has taken a step to the right. He's following the play, and I guess the only way to argue it would be that Robertson's movement delayed him for a millisecond.
But it did, because he changed his positioning.
He's still not getting there. I also believe he's not getting there.
Right, but if the rule is it affects how he plays, it did do that. Because the thing is, if Robertson doesn't duck, then
she's fine.
Yes. If Robertson doesn't duck, then he doesn't then the ball hits him in the face. Like,
well, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And by the letter of the law, that makes it interference, because he affected the play.
He has affected the play by,
because if he stays there and hits him square in his face, like directly in his face.
That makes sense. Yeah, letter of the law. That makes sense.
And based on the letter of the law, it says if you make any movements, if your movement actually, if you don't move and you affect the where the ball goes, then it's interference. And
like if he stands still and it hits him in the face and goes in the goal, they're definitely not giving it.
Right. So at that point, then it's true. You are in the way. And the funny thing about it is then people were sort of complaining about, well, why, City did so and so. And I'm like, why do we keep doing that, man? But because there have been decisions against City. Like,
just because the Wolves one was wrong doesn't mean you got to call this one wrong.
But not even that. There was one where Bernardo Silva was running away from the ball. He would have never touched the ball, right? But by the law, because he was there, if he stayed still, the ball would have hit him. And the goal got disallowed. Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, hey, man, let's not do whataboutism. Let's just do this right here. Because then people are talking like they were cheated. Nobody cheated you. Did you see the game?
Right.
Did you see the game? Like, you got punched in the face, man. Just stop it, man. It's okay to lose. Like, I mean, hey, man, we lost a bunch of games.
Yeah, y'all did the 1-13. I was hoping Liverpool might do that this season. But I think one of the reasons Poole were so gassed and Liverpool fans were so excited about this matchup was because, A, no one was expecting Doku to absolutely pop off. But B, even if he did, they were like, Connor Bradley has just locked up Vinicius. He's not going to have any issue locking up Doku. And now we can, okay, maybe Vinny is not all he's cracked up to be this season. He's not, he's doing a little bit more whining than playing this season, you might say. But Doku absolutely ran him ragged. Ran Connor Bradley ragged. And you mentioned it earlier. There were a number of plays, especially the penalty, which I think was definitely a pin.
Yeah.
On that play, but before the actual, like, the trip where Doku goes down, if you run that back another 10 seconds, he's running at Connor Bradley, right? And Connor Bradley has him shielded to the line. I don't think Doku was going to get to the line, but Konate literally comes over and bundles Connor Bradley over. He literally comes over and like knocks his own man over. And so Doku's like, oh, thanks. And cuts and is able to cut in because they're both laying on the floor now. I mean, what? And then of course, when you look at it from the angle behind Doku, you can see that he does get a touch on his toe. I do think that if Doku does one of these, he probably gets booked for simulation.
Right. But the thing is that the first touch didn't get him. It was his knee that caught his ankle because he was shooting. Like Doku was literally on one where he didn't care about nothing. He was shooting the ball. He was trying to score. Like he wasn't trying to get a penalty.
I'm dunking this one in. Yeah.
Like, he wasn't trying to get a penalty. He wanted to score.
Which is odd because you would expect the forward in that to give him one of those. I'm probably doing one of these and falling on the ground,
Yeah, but he at that point in the game, he was so on it. Like I just think he was just feeling himself that he didn't want no penalty.
Yeah, we don't need the pin to score. Yeah. Speaking of, is Haaland City's best penalty taker? I mean, I know he's an absolute machine in goal scoring form, but like objectively, take form out of it. Is he the best guy?
Yes. And the reason I'm going to say yes is because I remember when Aguero was there, and there was a period where Aguero was the designated penalty taker, and he was missing penalties. And this was like when him and Messi were like, they were all in their primes, and Aguero was missing penalties, and they had Yaya Toure taking penalties because Aguero was out there screwing up. Right. I think just for some forwards, they just get in their heads. I think it's just they get in their heads. Like it's a very rare thing where you have a perfect record. I think Balotelli had one for a long time, but as a striker,
Ivan Toney had a really great penalty kick record.
Right, but it's. I mean, and the thing about it, the game, like penalties they're easy, but they're not easy, man.
When I was playing, man, I practiced infinite penalties. I had this one shot that I would take every time, that's just so I'd be comfortable with it. I practiced it 1,000 times, man. So many times.
Well, what's weird about that is that there are so many quirky dynamics to it. Like and professional footballers know this because this is why they were delaying the ball and they were arguing. They were doing everything to get him off of his stride. Because it only takes 1 second for you either to look where you're going or have any give of what you're about to do to ruin your penalty. I mean, penalties are literally that easy to like throw somebody off. There can be that you can slip. Think about how many people have slipped. Perfect strike, slipped, destroyed the penalty. It's not like a shot. Like it's completely different than a shot. And so, and it's just you and the keeper. And this is not like you running at the keeper. The ball's dead. So
let's bring those back, man. Some MLS shootouts from back in the day.
God, I remember those. I remember seeing. I've never seen one live, but I remember seeing videos. I'm like, why are they running at each other like that?
I didn't see one live, but I remember it.
I was like, what is this? I
remember participating in one actually when I was on a back in the day when I was, I don't know, U13s maybe, U11s or something like that. We were in Myrtle Beach for a tournament, and it went to the shootout in the final, and I don't remember if we won or lost. I sank mine, just right around the keeper, and you got to get it away quick because there's like a time limit. But
yeah, man. And so, but yes, I do think Haaland is according to the manager, he's the designated penalty taker, but he's the best penalty taker on the team. I don't know who shoots better than him. I mean. According to the world, because remember, there was always City was winning. And there's like, well, do they have an issue? Can anybody other than Haaland scores? Now other people are scoring. Now they're like, well, can he take penalties? Now, is there always something wrong? Can we not just have a good game? Does something have to be wrong all the time? I mean, no, we did not play a perfect game, but it was a pretty freaking good one. We did pretty good.
He doesn't let the penalty miss get in his head, and then he like. The header for the goal was crazy.
Yeah.
I do want to say that what are Robertson and Gakpo doing letting that cross in?
Nobody marked them.
That was like lazy defending for the cross.
They gave Nunez all the space.
And then it skims off Konate's head, and
And then
Holland
straight to
still
his.
smashes it home.
Yeah, man.
That's like, I don't know if he was already going for it, just because good forwards anticipate that it's going to get past the guy anyway, and so he was already going for it. It probably would have just hit me in the face, and I would just been like, "Oh," because it like skimmed off Konate's head.
The crazy part is I remember watching this, and they were like taking like shots and talking to people, and I said before he even took it, I said if he misses it, he's gonna get a hat trick because literally think about every time he's missed a penalty, he gets angry and gets hungry to score goals. So then he just goes out and scores, and like 10 minutes later, he scores a goal. Like I mean, it's just.
I mean, on the pin, it must be said Matamashvili's has made a great save there.
It's
not a horrible pin. And I do like Holland's style because a lot of people these days do the whole run up, stutter step, jinky. He's just like, oh, there's the whistle, and he runs up and smashes
it. And hits it. That's it.
I like that. I like that style.
It wasn't placed well, but yes, because even on that penalty, if he placed it well, the keeper still gets it. Like the keeper had the whole side locked, so he had to go over him.
That guy's huge too.
Yeah.
So it's a good save, but at the end of the day, like you say, they were even with the goal, close. They were never coming back into it. It wasn't close at all.
When Doku got his goal, which was an absolute beautiful goal, like this guy, you saw, like he was determined. That's why for the penalty, I knew he wasn't trying to go down because he wanted to score that. Like that's what he was trying to score. He was looking to smash one in there.
He was coming in on his right foot all day long. He was just waiting for it, just waiting for that opportunity to open up.
And the running internet joke with the joke also amongst supporters is we need Doku to go to Ghana and get baptized and get married every weekend because he just gets married or whatever.
Yeah, I heard about that. He just got married.
Whatever's going on, do that every single week.
Oh, yeah, man. So the question is, was that goal better than Trossard's? Was Doku's goal better than Trossard's goal? Because they're similar.
I don't know.
I think they're very similar goals.
They are.
The guy overlaps and pulls the defender, so there's some space. He just rips one.
I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna say no because Doku was doing that all day
long. Yeah.
And so it felt like that was coming. Trossard's was just like, what? He's just like, what? And it's not that he didn't have the quality to do it. It's just like you didn't. That one just came. You're like, okay.
Yeah, that was the first shot Trossard had like taken.
Right, and so you don't
he was normally looking for the pass. Yeah.
Right, you don't bang one on the first one, and
right.
So I'm gonna give Trossard his credit on his, but I mean, Doku's was different because Doku's was like the bow at the end. Like he was like, I'm done. I'm done. This is finished. Whereas the Trossard, but because you guys needed that one, didn't you? I think.
Oh yeah, that was 2-1. That put us up 2-1.
Yeah, you needed that goal. Yeah. So like, I think the impact, I think also skews sort of the perspective of like quality because I think the need also affects it because like Doku didn't need to score that goal either. Like you know. He did it because he's like, I'm slapping you right now. Just like one of those, and he was done.
I own you. Have some of this.
Yes. Like just so in case you were confused.
Right.
Who's your daddy?
Let's cap today's performance off with a nice little cherry.
Right. Even though what's funny is the memes that are out there, like the one you said, like it's crazy because I have a weird sense of humor. So I was like, Jesus, man, like that one that I sent that I was like, wow, dude, it's crazy. I'm like, they really went there. I mean, the funny thing is these are European people, so none of that stuff happened there anyways, which makes it more crazy.
Oh man, yeah, that one was brutal. Some of them out there, I mean, my favorite ones are the typical ones when the defender has, pull stuff out of his pocket or whatever. But some of these, man, are brutal, dude.
But the thing is, you got to have a sense of humor, man. So like I said, I laughed at it because, it's not, I mean, it's no different than the standard politics that are real today. Right. So, it's kind of like whatever. But, overall, I'm happy with the result. I'm also happy sliding a little into the internationals that Rodri and Nico didn't get called up. Hey, good job. We need our sixes to stay home. 66 for us, but I mean, it could be a 6-7. Had to throw one of those things in there because I work in education. Hold up, I got to do the thing too. Right? And so it's good they stayed home, man. And that Foden, that Tuchel finally was like, yeah, Foden's not playing on the wing anymore. He's a midfielder. Duh. Very
Finally.
Good. But it also creates the problem because it's Jude and Phil and who's the other one? Oh, and they said and Kane, because they do play the same, because Kane is a track back guy, so Kane can't play the way he plays if those two guys are there, which I get. It's true, because he'll be in the way. He'll literally be standing in the same. Like, hey, how y'all do? Hey, dude, you're supposed to be in front of us.
I don't know, man. I feel like a front six for England of Kane, Saka. I mean, your left forward is where you're is where you're taking your pick. But if you did Bellingham, Foden, Rice, Kane, Saka, Rashford,
yeah,
dude, that's a front six, bro.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Now, I mean, Rice is literally doing all the defensive work because nobody's going to be helping him. No one's going to be helping him.
But if England are just blitzing people, he won't need to as much.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But the last thing I want to touch on the Liverpool game is the fact that Slot just seems like he seems tactically naive these days. Like and I'm saying that not because of the game, that one game, but because of the things he says. And then what we see on the field, right? So he's saying things about his tactics and how we didn't expect this team to do that, or we don't like playing on the ground or whatever. So he comes into this game trying to compact the midfield, right? Where he's got Verts and Szoboszlai and McAllister. They're all trying to compact the midfield, right? Gakpo's playing a little bit more narrow. And I noticed that, but what it did was, I guess he thought that, because Pep also in big games likes to compact the midfield. Foden played, Bernardo played, yep. Shirky was in there, but Pep's just like, okay, you're going to compact the middle. Well, we'll just go down the wing. And that's literally all he had to do.
Yeah, and then literally all he shifted, they just sat the ball in the middle and just held the ball in the middle of the field. Like it wasn't complicated.
And so is Slot like have people worked Slot out?
Well,
is that what it is?
If I'm being honest, man, and I'm gonna be really honest about this, I think Klopp left him a really good team, and based on like the thing I sent you, but because Klopp could come back and manage the team, I think he left them a good team.
That was a great interview, by the way, with the Diary of a CEO.
Yeah, so I think he left them a really good team, but also I think because people didn't have a history on him in the league, it was hard. It was hard to tactically figure him out because basically those guys were doing what they wanted, and so people were concerned with, are they going to do the Klopp thing? And there was occasions where they could throw the Klopp thing in there because Trent's gone. So like it was literally Klopp's team.
Right.
And so he kind of won because of the foundation that was there. Because like Lucho was there too. Like it just literally, you had some dynamism where they were seasoned and it didn't really matter what the manager was doing if the players knew the system well enough. So he was just tweaking. Now this is completely his baby. Like the team, like the players are his. Like these are his guys. And so I think the issue is that I don't know if tactically he brought, or his system is like a winner for the Prem if you don't have like a guy. So Wirtz was supposed to be that guy and he's not. And so that's why it's failing, because
Salah's not pitching in as much either.
Salah got paid, man. So what do you care? In addition to that, he still can get paid. He knows he can go to Saudi anytime he wants to and get the money, right? So it's not about that. He's playing for Egypt, so he's not worried about his spot there. And the thing that you have to look at is, and I forget who said it, but a commentator said the thing about Liverpool that's most concerning is they didn't have a bunch of games in the summer. They came back rested. Right. Everybody, like Chelsea played, Arsenal was playing games, City was everybody was playing. They had a full summer rest. You were the sitting champions, and you came back and okay, you were winning games, but we were early. We weren't convinced. We was like, you don't look that great.
Yeah,
and so that means that tactically, this is his team, and they're playing his system, and it's not rock and roll anymore. And I think they also underestimated like getting rid of like some mainstays a bit. Like Diaz is clearly a giant miss, man.
Their press, like their like press against the ball, has jumped off a cliff. It's leapt off a cliff, man.
But not even that. Even though Trent wasn't like a great defender, what he provided going forward was dynamic. So you lost the guy up on the left, and then you lost the guy essentially who was supporting that, or could come in across or wherever he was at, right? So you lost some of your diagonal play you're like, well, what are we doing with that? And so you lost those things because like Robertson's not bad, but he doesn't play a ball like Trent, right? And whoever's playing, on the left for them now, like they're not Trent again. Defensively, sure, but
it was Connor Bradley. It's Connor Bradley.
Yeah, but
he don't have that pass.
But we weren't worried about Liverpool defensively. Like their stuff came from rock and roll was going that way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't going the other way. And yes, that because then the other thing was the dependence on Van Dijk. And Van Dijk is human, man. I mean, yes, at one point in time, he was definitely one of the best in the world. I mean, as much as we can like sort of have a disdain, nobody's going to question legacy-wise. He was during his prime, he was one of the best defenders in the world. We're not going to take that from him. And he's no longer that guy. Especially since his pairing is not good, because Holland was like, okay, so your other center half can't play out the back, huh? Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and go over there with him.
Yeah, he's just hanging out with Konate the whole game, man.
It's over.
That's one thing that baffles me, and maybe you've hit it on it a little bit there, is the fact that maybe Virgil's lost a half a step, a quarter step even.
Which
I'm
is
not gonna be too harsh on him, but maybe last season when he had that, he was able to make up for what Konate couldn't bring. And now that Konate is really not bringing it, they're struggling mightily. And I mean, we're doing great, Nathan Middleton. We're doing very good. And the fact that Konate is not bringing it now either, and Van Dijk's lost a little bit. Every team is like, if you go back and watch the Palace game versus Liverpool, they were running Konate ragged, man. You kind of felt bad for him. Mateta was just at him all game long, and that's exactly what Holland was doing when he switched over there. Nathan, every now and again, I'll watch some championship football.
Is Norwich, I think Norwich City's in there. Oh, Derby post Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, post Wayne Rooney, absolutely. Now that he's gone on to making fun. No, actually, one of my mom's friends is from Derby, and they're diehard Derby County fans. So hey, maybe we'll see it. We'll see it next season. We'd love to have Derby County at the Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium.
Like, is because Norwich trash this year. God dang it!
Oh, are they bad? Are Norwich really bad?
They are in the relegation zone. They have 9 points in 15 games. 9 out of 15. But Ipswich Town is there because that's my other favorite place. So I'm a rock with Ipswich Town. Ipswich Town is right there.
Post-Wayne Rooney, we got relegated having 21 points deducted, promoted 2 years later, stayed up last season. Now we're doing well. And of course,
they
smashed Norwich.
I saw Norwich. We're not hating on Norwich. Hey man, I love the Eastlands. We're not hating on the Canaries, man. What is it? The meat pies? What I forget the owner lady.
Magpies? No,
It's like she used to like the owner lady was like she owned the thing that I think it was meat pies or it was something that people bought. They ate there.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Brits will know it. I haven't lived in England in a while, but I loved going to Norwich. But Ipswich was probably my favorite, and Ipswich is in 7th place. I mean, so I'm not hating on Derby because Derby is in 10th, but that's good. I mean, I think, but they have the same points. But I love the championship. They play a lot of games, dude.
Yeah.
They play
It's like 46 games, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not the biggest Forest fan myself, but I guess I don't hate them that much.
I'm not gonna talk about anybody. I don't. Okay, yeah, I don't. No, do I hate anybody?
You're not a big United fan, are you?
I am not a United fan. I have friends that are United fans, and I do bask in whenever we beat them. Yes, yes, I do like that. Hey, the championship is amazing, man.
I love to see Americans doing good. Absolutely. What's the dude for Coventry who's playing for Coventry right now? He had a great season last season.
I can tell you right now, man.
And now he was doing it again. God, what's his name?
Is it Thomas Asante?
No.
Haji? Well, Haji's there.
Haji Wright. It was Haji Wright. That's who I'm thinking of. Is he still there at Coventry?
Yeah, Haji has 8 goals.
There you go, man. There he is. Yep. Nope. Haji Wright. Hopefully he'll be in the squad. The last game for the States I actually watched, Haji Wright scored 2 goals. So he might have gotten the call up this time around. But
do our games, these are friendlies, right? So I don't even know if they matter.
Nah, none of our games matter because we qualified by hosting. Thank God. What with the emergence of Cape Verde in the CONCACAF this season, I'm grateful that we yeah, you never know, man. We're terrible.
Amen.
But yeah, back to Arne Slot needs to figure it out. And I'm not urging him to do it too quickly. He could lose a few more games, no problem. But objectively speaking, they got to figure out how to help the defense.
If I'm being honest, man, I mean, I just think that it's what's more concerning is that their signings haven't done anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, so to sort of reiterate your point.
Hey, we appreciate it, Nathan. Yeah, we'll see you next time, man. Have a good night.
Yeah. And to sort of reiterate your point, man, there's no reason for me to look forward to them being good. But I mean, my buddy who's a United fan said, "Hey, man, Liverpool should be embarrassed because United's in front of them." I was like, you know what?
Yeah, 100%. That is very, very embarrassing. Well, I'm not going to say that. I will say segues are weird, but I'm not going to say that the point at the Stadium of Light is embarrassing.
No, it wasn't, man. They was playing y'all, man.
Actually, in fact, what I am going to say is that a bunch of teams are going to drop points at that stadium this season.
I think so.
For sure. And another thing I'm going to say after watching that, December 14th, everyone out there, set your calendars. December 14th, Newcastle United at the Stadium of Light. That game is going to be an absolute barnstormer, bro. The first West Side Derby is going to be absolutely insane, man.
Fireworks, man.
You know how every season I tend to pick a newly promoted side that I kind of cheer on. Last season it was Ipswich. This season, man, go Sunderland, dude. Classic Premier League side, legacy team back in the league. We got ex-Arsenal guys throwing daggers at my heart. Dan Ballard, Granit Xhaka, doing big things. So as long as I only have to cheer against them one more time this season when they come back to our place so we can get a little revenge, but absolutely well played to Sunderland. They deserve everything they got. Honestly, I do think we could have won this game. We had 17 chances. I mean, Eze's stung the palms twice. Zubi's hit it off the bar. Saliba's put one in the 5th row. You know, Zubamendi had another shot on target. Saka had one go, just wide. Um, the goalkeeper was on it. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I knew going into this game we were really, really going to struggle just because of what I've watched of them so far, just because of the fact that it's a stadium light, 50,000 screaming Sunderland fans. That's that, man. Every time I've been able to see it, it's been raucous. It's been loud, and it's going to be that way every single time, and you know what I harp on. You know what I harp on about. You're not going to win the midfield battle if you don't win those second balls.
Right.
And honestly, I actually tried to see if there was an actual statistic on winning second balls, but no one really kind of keeps up with it, and it's tough to it would be tough to define exactly it in such a narrow way so as to count it, but I think we lost that battle in this game. I legit think that they probably won more second balls, especially in that first half. When you think about treble winning Man City, you think about how it was free flowing. There was constant pressure, constant passes, the ball's just coming right back in, right back in, right back in. You can never get out. Teams are suffocated, etc. Right? So when you aren't able to do that to a team and you aren't able to keep them pinned in, it lets teams breathe. It lets teams get set, and we weren't able to do that. Of course, Arteta looks for control, looks to try to do that and suffocate teams. We were not able to do that to Sunderland at all. And especially in that first half, it was so stop-start. There were like injuries. Timber had to get his head wrapped up at one point because he was bleeding. I mean, there was no fluidity, no momentum at any point. And then it's funny. It's fun. I don't know many players in the league who can be at fault for a goal. Completely Declan Rice's fault, that first goal. Yes, the foul was soft. Definitely not a yellow card. I don't know. Craig Paulson had a horrendous game. A terrible, terrible, terrible game. But that's his standard, and we won't say anything else about it. Declan Rice might be the only player that I've seen who can be completely at fault for the goal. Not only was he weak in the challenge when Dan Ballard goes up for the header, but also he doesn't run with him. He kind of stumbles a little bit. And I understand it all happened really quickly, and Ballard kind of comes down on him and gets the jump on him. So he's in front of him when the ball comes back in, right? But still Rice's fault. He was still probably the man of the match. I don't know many players that can be at fault 100% for the goal and still be the man of the match. He had a great game other than that. He was very good other than that, I thought. It was tough, very, very tough in there in that midfield, and they came to do that. Opposition teams are going to get absolutely hammered. It's Newcastle 2.0. You're going to get kicked. You're going to get punched. When Newcastle go to the Stadium of Light, they're going to be issuing swords, shields. Joel Linton's coming with a battle axe. Granit Xhaka is pulling out his longbow. Like, it's going to be a gladiators arena in there, man. And that's the way it's going to be when City go there. That's the way it's going to be when Liverpool go there, because that team is going to get up for everybody.
Well, and they believe they're supposed to be there. And I think that's the biggest thing that they had. Like, even to the end, the goal at the end of the game, that you're like, what is this, man? Like, these dudes was like, hey, man, we belong here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing like a group of professionals who believe they belong somewhere. Yeah. Can't do nothing about it, man.
Absolutely.
Credit to them.
I think that their tactics were effective, but I also think that I mean, I made a video yesterday about how things are kind of coming together for Arteta and for Arsenal, and I think that he's definitely learned. And while I don't think we necessarily play with the handbrake on in first halves this year, like we were kind of accused of in the 23-24 season, which I personally think it was very true that season. We're not necessarily blitzing teams like the season before, and it's not the handbrake like 23-24, but you can tell that there's a little bit of we'll keep you at arm's length just to try to figure out what you're doing. And then the first 15 minutes of nearly every second half of Arsenal games, we up the levels. We up the energy. We up the tempo. They were playing riskier passes. And again, when you're down 1-0, that seems natural, right?
Right.
And so at the beginning of that second half, we were ripping them apart. Like right out of the gate, we were ripping them apart. Trossard was having lots of good passes around the corner. And we were pressing high. And that's ultimately what led to the first goal.
Yeah.
But I do think in that first half, especially the way it was super physical in there, I think Eze kind of shied away a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily his most natural tendency to come back for the ball and try to be the guy that progresses it when Rice and Zubimendi are marked out of the game. Now, Odegaard, obviously that's who he's going to get compared to because that's where he's playing. Odegaard does that all day. He comes back and gets the ball. And so I think when we're kind of marked out of it a little bit, Eze struggles to come back and be the guy to push the ball forward in this system. And maybe he's just learning it, which is fine, But I think when he's got a little bit more freedom out on that left-hand side, I think he shows up a little bit more. For example, when in the what game was it? It was the Ethan Nwaneri goal. As a Brighton game, as he beats his man and starts the whole combination that gets there. I think when he has that kind of freedom, he's definitely going to cook a bit more. He's going to find more of the GA that we're definitely looking for. I don't think he's been bad in there in the 10. I think when there are teams that play a little bit deeper and they're not, pressing against Rice and Zubimendi as much, he gets on the ball a little bit more in there and is able to, be that creative outlet. But I don't think he was, I think they definitely marked him out of the game in that first half, especially. And we definitely miss Gyökeres in this one. Of all the games we've played, we haven't really been missing the injured players, but
but you said that. You said that last week that this would be the game that he probably would be missed.
Yeah. I'm not mad that he didn't play. He's got a muscle injury in his thigh. So that's you need to be out. You need to rest for that.
Yeah.
But I think more so than Marino was able to, he would have stayed higher, kept the field stretch. He would have been more than happy to hustle and harry and battle with Dan Ballard, just offers us something different, and Marino was trying to come back into that midfield that was just completely bogged down. And we weren't winning the second balls, so we weren't able to really string the passes together that Marino is able to get in on and be effective But I think, like I say, we upped it in the second half and we showed some quality. High press for the first goal. Rice tackles the man. And I do want to shout out Saka because I think he's getting a little bit of shtick because he hasn't been – electrifying. He hasn't been lighting it up or whatever, but he has had the armband since Odegaard's come out. And I do think he's led the team well. For example, in a moment where we're down a goal, we got an opportunity and he just buries it. Just absolutely buries it. The goalkeeper is probably thinking he's going the other way. So he just tucks it in near post, easy as you like. Thanks so much, El Capitan. I think that the fact that he's taken the armband and he's, kind of been like felt the weight of that responsibility, and I think he's carried it well. To be honest with you, I thought it was a captain's performance in a tough game where he was double teamed a lot. I think that when players are quiet, sometimes we just immediately assume, oh, well, they were bad, had a bad day, wasn't a good day, And I think too often, even in overall analysis of games, when a team doesn't win, oh, Arsenal didn't beat Sunderland, they were shit. And you don't give the opposition enough credit. It's sometimes what happens.
Well, I mean, Sunderland are good, man. Like we got to start just owning that, like they're good. I think part of the issue is that you don't want to own it. Not you, but we don't want to. People don't want to own it because we get stuck in the sort of legacy of what teams are supposed to be based on history, and you got to get off of that.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I think if you take all of that out of it and you look at the game 11v11, I mean, they were very good. They deserve everything they got. And I think that we were very good as well. That two things can be true. I think both teams were very good. I think that it feels a little bit harsh, a little bit unlucky. I thought that we, for a spell there, were absolutely hammering them. We were all over them for about 30 minutes in that second half. Got the second goal, absolute screamer from Trossard. Whew, what an absolute banger.
Yes.
And he's quietly been possibly our best player this season.
Well, and if I remember maybe 3 weeks ago, he heard you, man. You placed the challenge down and was like, "Hey, man, you're this is your opportunity because your spot is in jeopardy. You need to show it." And right after that, he's been playing consistently good since then. But I remember it was about 3 weeks ago you said that.
Yeah, man, he hasn't stopped scoring. He got the goal versus Fulham to win the game. He's put us ahead in this one. He had some really good passes. I think that he's one of those guys where the opposition isn't looking for him to be a big threat. And then if you sleep on him and he has a day, and he has a good game like he had, he can pop up with some goals. I think technically he's one of our best finishers as far as like his grace and ease and poise and calm in front of the goal when there's an opportunity to score. I do think he's a bit selfish. I do think there are times where he could, maybe play the extra pass instead of going for the shot because he's not going to run past you.
But like, I think it's funny because I think people say that about Doku. Like, goal scorers, I think, have to be selfish.
I agree with that too.
And the reason I'm not saying that he is, but I'm saying if you class yourself as that, then that's your game. You're like, why am I passing to you?
I hear it. But he's definitely been pretty good. And now that Martinelli's gone down and Madueke's gone down, people haven't been in there. He's stepped up and been like, well, I may be the only one left, but I'll bang in some goals. Why not? And so I've been happy to see that for sure. Yeah, but all in all, man, I wasn't even upset like on the day. Like after it happened, yeah, I was gutted.
You wanted to win, right?
I was gutted, of course. All of us, all Arsenal fans were Gabriel at the end of that, at the end of the game there when he's like, that was all of us, but once it calmed down and, realize, hey man, that was a proper Premier League game right there. And, it's like, hey, we'll take the point. It'll end up being a good point, I think, by the end of the season. It won't be one of those like last season where it's like, man, if we just wouldn't have conceded to Fulham in the 90th minute, man, if we just would have done this if we just wouldn't have lost to Villa 2-0. It's not, I don't think this is going to be one of those. If we don't win the league, it won't be because of this point. It won't be because we dropped these 2 points here away to Sunderland.
Oh, and it's like you said, they're going to be taking points off of people. So
Yeah, it feels like it because you gained 2 points on us. But
yeah,
also,
but I mean, long season. You know how I stand on that.
yeah, well, if you look at where we were at the beginning at the last international break, we've improved. We've increased the gap.
For sure.
It was 1 point, and now it's 4. So I do think that you can tell that the guys were gutted, but I think they'll bounce back, and we're going to be getting some players back. I've heard that Odegaard is coming back. I'm praying that's true. I've heard that Gyökeres is coming back. I'm praying that that's true. But, we have like 12 days or something for that. And I've seen some videos of Jesus training. I've seen some videos of Madueke training. I don't think, Jesus coming back off another horrendous injury. I'm not sure that we should just toss him in. But if Gyökeres isn't ready for Spurs, that'll be upsetting. Although Spurs are absolute trash, man. Did you see? I hope you didn't waste your 90 minutes on Saturday morning for the Spurs United game because that was horrendous.
I did not watch that.
No, yeah, you're good. I can't get those. None of us can get those 90 minutes back. No one can. It's a tragedy. But I'm definitely comfortable with how things are going. I can definitely hear the blue sharks circling, of course. That's just the PTSD talking, And, I said a couple of weeks, you remember I said a couple of weeks back, like, you're a fool to count Pep out. The people that
I agree with that 1,000%.
The people that were like, Pep's finished. Pep's, Pep is kind of falling off a little bit, etc. Nah, man. The man has not gone 2 seasons without a title. Ever.
They showed his stats. He's won, 710 games? But it was funny. It's like they said, based on his trophy number, I forget what his number is, 40-something. He wins a trophy every 25 games. Like, that was the math someone did. It could be off, but that's what I read. Yeah, I think he has 40. Based on, like, trophy number of games he's won and trophies, he wins one every 25 games.
Yeah. Like you say every season, man. If Arsenal get this over the line, we will have been pushed. We will deserve it, man. Because 4 points gap or no gap, y'all are gonna take some beating.
And again, I think I think Arteta, he was fine. Like I didn't read of him doing anything like, how they blame the wind or the grass.
Sunderland actually moved the advertising boards forward a little bit. That's something that last season Arteta probably might have said something about.
But Mars is in retrograde or whatever is the thing, but those things are not there, and I think that's okay because it's the minutia that if you take just that second to focus on that garbage, it takes you off the ball enough to not do what you need to do. But I think he's done a wonderful job so far, and we'll see. But I'll say it again, it's a long season. Definitely go for the first trophy available for you, man. I stand, man.
I think that one other thing I'll mention is the fact that he takes Eze off. It's like the 80th or something, and brings Mosquera on, and we went to a back 5. And it was kind of the pattern of the game, sure. I also understand it because Eze was not having a great, he had kind of cooled off and was not having an effect on the game anymore. And I thought about it during the game why we didn't see any other subs. That's the only sub he made. And I actually agree with it, to be honest with you. I might have how I would rather leave your best players on the field when you need, something in a game. But I also understand that we've had success this season with setting up shop and not getting, and just not giving anything else for the rest of the game. So he's had success doing it. Obviously he's going to continue to do it. That didn't really bother me that much. But I don't think anyone else would have come into that game. We didn't. no one else would have been able to affect it. So after I thought about it, I was like, yeah, what we were doing was working when we were able to get on the ball and do it. But like I said at the beginning of the segment, we just weren't winning enough second balls. We just weren't winning enough of the battle in midfield. And so by the end of it, yeah, it'd been a long game. The guys were tiring. You could see it. And so while, once again, I'd rather, keep the ball and stay on the front foot, attack is the best form of defense, etc. I get it. And sometimes it'll work. Sometimes we'll be able to stand up to it, like the Palace game. And other times you're facing 95th minute dagger.
And, the thing that I think matters the most in those things are the growth that's happening through the process that, your guys are, you got some battle testing in there. I think you have to have a game like that and close to a heartbreak, not the full heartbreak, right? But close to a heartbreak to build that scab, where if you get tapped on it, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world because of just, man, we don't know what it's like to, get hit on the chin. Like, you guys know that. And I think, and it was a quality opponent. I feel like if this was like, I don't know, somebody at the bottom that I don't even know what the bottom of the table looks like, but
Wolves,
somebody
man.
at the bottom, I think.
Wolves. If we'd have lost like that to Wolves, I'd been pissed.
Well, I mean, yeah. And so that's what I mean. Like that would have been like an issue, I think. But I think because of, what it is and where they were, that mattered more because at the time you played them, they weren't second in the table, right?
Yeah.
So I think you have to look at it relative to, where you are in the season and all those things. And I think they earned their points,
Oh, absolutely.
Because they were leading, right? They were
up at halftime. They were winning at halftime. They were definitely winning at halftime. Yeah, it was. But they deserved to be winning at halftime. They definitely won the first half. This is a game of two halves. Like I was saying, we kind of worked them out a little bit at the beginning of the second half and got back on the front foot. We're able to get ahead, but whoo, man, that's going to be tough. It'll be tough for a lot of teams. I'm still shocked that Burnley won there. Burnley won 2-0. It was early on, but that's looking like an anomaly at this point.
Well, not only that, but it just goes to the point of it's such a long season, man. That anything can happen if we go back and look at the lineup and who maybe was missing and all that stuff. You're like, all right, now I know why that happened. You probably could rationalize the result. Not feel good about it, but rationalize what happened based on just adding context that we're aware of now.
Yeah. And, moving forward, like I said, I don't think it doesn't even really bother me that much. I think we're still in a great position. I think we're still playing well. I can definitely see the mentalities there. I don't think that this is going to shake their belief or anything like that. And we're just hoping for health through the international break. And like I say, we got Spurs. Coming up, and part of the video I did and the article I wrote, they were kind of similar. I was talking about how I don't know what's going to make me actually believe. I don't know what's going to say that's the moment where I was like, yep, we're going to win the league. I don't know, because, if we beat Spurs, say we beat Spurs, smash Bayern, and then deal with Chelsea at the beginning of 2 weeks from now, I don't even know, because the Bayern game is interesting for me because it feels like a free hit. Because we're gonna qualify top 8. We have yes, we play Inter at San Siro, but that's another free hit. Our other two games are Brugge and Kairat. And we already have 12 points. We're already, with
that's 18 right there.
Plus 11, something crazy goal difference or something, and so, yes, it'd be awesome if we absolutely wrecked Bayern. But I honestly don't think that – I don't even feel like that result matters. I don't even think it does. It'd be awesome if we were able to shut Bayern out and send a statement to Europe. But even if we lose 2-0, I'm way more focused on the league games. Way more focused on the league games.
In addition to that, and you alluded to it, as long as you qualify, I mean, like beating somebody in the group stage will do absolutely nothing for you in the knockout round.
We beat Paris last season.
Does nothing for you in the knockout.
We beat them 2-0 in a great game. No one cares at all. No one cares at all.
And the funny thing is you and I'm not saying you, but the team could get embarrassed. The knockout stage is completely different. It's literally 3 months later. Teams are completely different at that time. So it's whatever.
Yeah, and like I say, I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm just gonna enjoy that one, because it's gonna be fun, of course. And yeah, I'll beat my chest if we're able to beat Bayern and Kane. It's unstoppable force, movable object, all of that. But like I say, I'm so much more focused on beating Spurs and beating Chelsea.
For sure.
A, because they're rivals, yeah, and B, because I hate Spurs, but also C, because I really am not feeling Chelsea fans right now.
Why is it?
Just a lot of the stuff I'm hearing online, not necessarily X and Patrick, of course, but the people talking about Estevao this and Estevao that, and we're club world champions, this and that, and we smashed Wolves, and we're back, and blah 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 blah. Like, it's some of it's getting really annoying. I was listening to this one guy the other day saying that already Estevao is better than Saka. Like, bottom line, he said that, and my head exploded. I'm not gonna lie. He got to me. That the rage bait got me really hard, And so I'm just like, yes, Estevao's great. He's awesome, but dude, can we chill out? Like, I think a lot of fans across all teams do this.
This comment. I don't know who Zveli is, but he disagrees with you, sir.
He definitely disagrees. Estevao is definitely more talented. I'm not going to agree with that. I'll let you have your opinion, obviously. I'm not going to agree with that, but Estevao is nowhere near.
Is he a star boy?
He's nowhere near the player that Bukayo Saka is. Come to me in 5 years when he's had to deal with racism after missing a penalty for his international team. When he's had to deal with playing all kinds of different positions over 5 years for Mikel Arteta. When he's had to deal with carrying the armband when the actual captain has been down for the last 6, 7, 8, 9 games. When he's had double-digit G&A for 5 seasons running. We'll talk, okay? We'll talk.
It's an interesting thing because I'll leave my evaluation out because I don't think my evaluation is worth anything in this. But I think it's interesting the way we're looking at attacking players now, and it's different. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like it's weird because there's potential, but then there's actualized potential. And, it's about the actualization of it. And I'm not saying that. And so your point is you have the lived thing from your example And this guy he's coming for it. He's coming towards it, and so I'm not going to take anything from that. And I think we have to go from there. Like, for example, people will say, like, they talk about who's the best 9 in the world, right? You got Holland, you got Kane, and I guess Mbappe's a 9 now. I don't know. But they put the numbers up there, and the numbers are the numbers, right? I mean, your striker is supposed to score you goals. Mm-hmm. That's all you care about. And so if you're talking about wing play, you're saying, well, what is this winger supposed to do in this system? And are they doing that?
Well, here's the at the end of the day, when we talk about, is this guy better than this guy? Because you have to obviously define your argument, because there's so many parameters. But for me, putting it all together at the end of the day, if you're playing a Champions League final tomorrow and you have to choose one of them, who's your guy? That right there, for me, will tell you the most about the fan. Because my answer is 100% going to be influenced by how I want to see a team play. If you ask me Haaland or Kane tomorrow, it's Haaland, because of how I would build the team around Haaland. Okay, yes, of course I could build a team around Kane. Sure, who couldn't? He's amazing. But point is, when I'm saying Saka or Estevao, Saka's playing every single time in the Champions League final tomorrow for me. 10 out of 10. There's no, and yes, even if his natural talent is higher than Saka's, that's great. But I'm also personally, in my opinion, as you said, would rather see the goals, the output, the bringing others into the game, the assists, the goals, what the game is actually meant. Well, we're trying to score here. We're trying to score goals instead of the flashy dribbles, the Joga Bonito, the always reminiscent of Ronaldinho, and he's done this in Brazil. Yes, he has done it in Brazil. What was the record he broke? Got to 100 goals faster than Neymar or whatever it was, and so, yeah, he's done it in Brazil, sure, but he's played 8 times in the league.
The funny thing is I'm glad you brought up
8 games, guys. He's played 10 games.
I would say,
no, that's my point, Sveli. He can't even get a game in his own team. He can't start over Garnacho or Neto.
Well, but the thing is, and I look at that, and I would say one of the things that is super relevant too, and I saw this recently because of the situation you brought up, Neymar, is, if I'm being honest, and I think a pundit said this, Neymar is more naturally talented than Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think there's a question. Neymar is probably one of the most talented, naturally talented.
We figured.
But Neymar's from what we've seen, when we remember seeing him coming from Santos, we saw Neymar. We this is probably one of the most naturally talented footballers we've seen in a long time. And he was not better than Messi or Ronaldo. Because talent and production are 2 different things. This is why somebody said, for example, Ronaldo R9 and Cristiano. And there's well, if R9 didn't have injuries, he would be better. But I'm but here's the thing about life. I don't live in what ifs. His career is over. Ronaldo is 40, I think, or whatever, banging goals in still. And so I look at that and I say, but it's about the production. Because there's a weird thing about disliking longevity. If you can still produce at a high level late in your career, not equal to, your prime, but still better than other primes, then I'm going to go ahead and say, you're that dude. And okay, you don't have the most natural talent, but your talent is production. Is that not a talent? And so you mentioned Jamie Vardy last week, or was the week before. Like the fact that Vardy, I wouldn't call Vardy a technically gifted player,
Agreed, Svelli.
but yes, they are aliens. But you look at Vardy, I wouldn't call Vardy more talented than anyone, but that guy, production.
Yeah.
I just need you to put the ball in the goal, and I'm gonna give you an example. I didn't talk about him at all, but I'm gonna do it today. And
he still has a record that Haaland hasn't beat. Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, but Savinho was supposed to be the regen of Riyad Mahrez. I'm saying right now, he couldn't wipe Riyad Mahrez's boots, man, because Mahrez at Leicester City, Mahrez at Man City.
Yeah.
What you talking about, man? And yes, people will say, well, Mahrez, it took long for him to come on, but once Mahrez was turned on, it wasn't about talent anymore. I mean, about like potential. Mahrez was the real deal.
Yeah.
Like dead real deal. Yeah. And you look at that, and the fact that you could see him, and he played in a team with Vardy and Conte, and he's still one player of the season.
Player of the season, yeah.
You know how good he was. And so you look at Savinho, and you could say, well, maybe Savinho is more talented than Doku. Maybe. But guess who's producing?
Yeah.
And so I'm only saying that because, I don't know who's more talented. Probably so. But at the same time, to the point, if I got a guy that's giving me numbers and you're asking me, I got to play a final tomorrow, I'm going with the guy who gives me numbers, man. I don't need pretty. I don't care about pretty. No one will remember how you won the final if you won the final.
Yeah.
They don't care. City won an ugly final 1-0.
Kai Havertz won a final.
No one cares how you win it. But yes, I agree with the Ronaldo and Messi. They're still aliens. They're still doing goofy stuff.
Like, what hey, man, and the person I was talking about is a guy named Don. I'm sure if people are watching this, follow much content on YouTube, they'll know who he is. He was making the point that the flair is what gets him off his seat. Is what excites him. The Joga Bonito. He's easy on the eyes. He's real. He's obviously already super comfortable, and I think that Estevao is going to be a fantastic player. I hope he stays healthy, and is able to have a great career. And I hope that, there's too many players that have the potential like this that, for one reason or another, maybe the money turns their head and they get distracted or whatever, and they just don't stay focused like the people we call aliens. Who've stayed focused their whole career. Why is Ronaldo the GOAT, or arguably? It's because he worked harder than everyone. Yeah. Literally ask every teammate he's ever had. He worked harder than you.
The funny thing is, just to kind of couple with that, is that in a recent interview, I think he said
the Piers
you
Morgan
could put him. I think so. He said something along the lines, you could put him in a Premier League team right now and he scored 20 goals. And you know what? I believe that. I firmly believe that. I think he does get 20 goals.
Yeah.
Any team, you pick the team. I think he gets you 20 goals. I don't know about winning, but I know he's going to get you 20 goals.
Yeah.
Which is insane to say.
That'd be insane to see Ronaldo come back to the Prem.
To score 20. Because he would.
Yeah, that'd be. Hey, man, Henry came back for a couple of sessions, a couple of times, a couple of random loan spells, But the thing is, if Ronaldo ever came back to the league, he's only going one place.
I don't know why he would go there, though.
Because he loves the club, man. He loves the game. He's a loyalist. As much as whether you like him or don't like him, he was always loyal to the club he was at.
No, for sure. It would have to be just for the loyalty, because he can't be going there for winning.
Hey, man.
Respectfully.
5 games unbeaten. United are 5 games unbeaten. It was an absolute shit show at the 3-point lane, sure, but yeah, as far as the whole talent thing. Hello, Matthew. Thanks for being here, man. Oh, a Liverpool fan. Yeah, but as far as the whole talent versus talent thing, I think that we need to take care of the talent that comes into the league. I think Saka was one of those that just got played over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And one of the reasons that, in the past few months, maybe he hasn't been at his top is that was a grade 4 hamstring, man. Like, who comes back from that and is the same? Like, look at Michael Owen, man. It's a tragedy. Like who comes back from that kind of stuff and is the same?
And muscle injuries are weird because they can go anytime.
Look at Jesus. Look at Gabriel Jesus, man.
He's done, man.
Yeah, dude. But when he first came to Arsenal, the first 6 months at Arsenal, we were all, oh my God, it's a region.
Oh, he was on fire, and then he got hurt in January, I think it was.
And then there goes the ACL.
Off the cliff.
I mean, he hasn't been the same. He has not come back and been the same. I don't think he will. Like, he's had 3 ACL tears since then. Like, there's no way. I'm surprised he's going to come back. You know what I mean? Like, how do you – and so hopefully for the, as a fan of the game itself and taking my Arsenal hat off, hopefully, Estevao stays healthy and it doesn't get overplayed and doesn't get overworked and is able to, kind of, progress and get better and better and is able to avoid those major injuries,
It's weird because what we get, the point you made is important, but then I don't know if it's the lay fan or the common fan. They're like, but they get paid XYZ to play. And I'm like, if money was enough for your body to be indestructible, I get that. But they still, yes, they're trained, they're, world-class athletes, but a body is a body, man. Yeah. And I was going to mention Hazard because that's the thing, as much as, the dynamism is there. What happened is, and I have a buddy who's a Chelsea fan, Andrew, and he said something to me, and I remember this, and I watched the games and I saw it. For at least, I think 3 consecutive seasons, Hazard was the most fouled player. So he better be ready for that because that's what's coming. They're going to be like everyone is going to be hacking on him. And so it's about how do you, and it goes back to my, the body thing, like he's still human, How many ankle stamps are you going to catch? How many studs to the calf are you going to be able to deal with because you literally cook somebody? I mean,
yeah, Reynaldo should have been sent off, man. The left back for Sunderland that just would not stop kicking Saka, and that's coming for Estevao. Keep on dancing, bro. Keep on doing the jinky McJinky and the scissors moves and the step overs. You're gonna get blammed. That's the league, man.
There's some shoulder checks in there, a couple of elbows to the head. They're coming.
That's the league, man.
and the thing about it is it's not Bush League at all. Like the Premier League is just physical like that, and it gets worse.
Yeah, wait till you go play Sunderland.
Yeah. So what is this?
He's saying his minutes are managed, but you can't protect him forever. That's true.
And he has to play just to we were talking, just talking about scars. He got to get those scars, and see how he recovers from it. Because again, there's talent versus potential, and you want the talent on the field. So
go ahead.
I hope Chelsea's, shout out to Eva, even though she's not there, but their medical staff, we need their medical staff to know that this guy.
They need to buck up because they got mad injuries, dude. Arsenal they got mad injuries, man.
They got 35 players on their team, so they're right.
Yeah. But I also think he's young enough that he's still malleable, right? So why? Okay, Garnacho was good against Wolves, but start Estevao on the left. Like, He's definitely not worse than Garnacho. That one's a head scratcher for me. Why they got him? Yes, he's been okay. Oh yeah, dude. Lavia, man. Lavia is another one of those players that injuries and injury. Like, has he played even the whole game for Chelsea yet? Like, he comes in and he immediately, like, I thought he was great against Liverpool when he came in for the 20 or 30 minutes he was in. And I was like, well, if he can, they can finally give Caicedo a rest, because I think they're way over reliant on Caicedo's, consistency.
He's been on fire, and I want to give props to Caicedo. He's been playing amazing.
He has.
A lot of props for sure, but it's like the guy that they spent the money on.
But when he doesn't, they struggle mightily.
Yeah, but I mean that's how Brighton was, same thing.
Yep, absolutely. Well, yeah, I think it's definitely. We'll definitely see, man. I'm looking forward to the game against Chelsea at the Bridge.
That Spurs is after the break.
No, that's the Spurs is the first game after the break, then Bayern, and then at Stamford Bridge. And last
a week, year, man.
Yeah.
What a week.
Last year that game was horrendous. Both teams were, I think it was a 2-2 or a 1-1.
Who does Chelsea play before you guys?
That is a great question. I actually have it up. What in the world? Pop up. Yeah, I've got it right here. Let's see.
As you pull that up, I'm looking at this random news that popped up on my screen. The U.S. Mint ends the production of the U.S. penny after 232 years. No more pennies being made.
Yeah, it's Burnley. They're playing Burnley. Yeah, so they should be, but Chelsea don't get up for small games. They'll be up for the Arsenal game.
Yeah,
but they might go to sleep versus Burnley. Who knows? But yeah, man, I definitely think some exciting things to look forward to coming up, and we'll be back next Wednesday, of course, to preview all of the coming action. Thanks for everyone that's been here. It's certainly been a good one. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's go ahead and get the likes up as well. Hype the video. Not sure what that one is, but hype it up. I've been seeing that on YouTube, of course. And thanks for all the comments tonight.
Share it with people. Tell people to come on here. Drop a link in your WhatsApp or wherever you're dropping links at.
Wherever you're dropping links. Yeah. Find us on socials. Definitely. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for being here, Sveli. Appreciate it. Hearing some stuff from a Chelsea perspective. We do normally every now and again. Hey, appreciate that, Sveli. Normally we do have a couple Chelsea fans on the panel, so maybe we'll be seeing that in the future. X and Patrick might be joining us at some point in the future. But yeah, again, thanks for being here, and you will see us next time.